Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Taylor Allison Swift. This evening, I will be examining three very unique individuals and how their quest for love destroyed self or true antidisposition. Some of you may know I'm not only a psychologist specializing in relationships, but I'm also a singer and songwriter. Your answer just may end up in my next big pop hits. The three people we will be interviewing tonight are Malvolio of Twelfth Night, Ophelia of Hamlet, and Macbeth of Macbeth. Be prepared to answer some tough questions. Let's get started. Hi, Ophelia. How are you feeling today?
Honestly, I'm extremely lost and torn.
Would you mind elaborating on these emotions?
Hamlet has claimed to never love me, but I know that not to be true. It just can't be.
What would it mean for you if he never did love you?
It would mean that my whole world was a lie.
How so?
Because Hamlet told me he was going to marry me one day. How can he say that he never loved me? I feel like I am truly going mad right now.
You are experiencing what many of us go through. I'm terribly sorry. At what point in your relationship with Hamlet do you feel like you lost control and it started going wrong?
After he came through my window, he started saying very strange things and it never was right again.
Do you believe that this love had truly sent you into madness?
Oh.
Or was there any sign of madness in your life before this?
Oh, it was love that made me mad. Yes, only love.
Ophelia, I appreciate your willingness to share your feelings. They are real, and I do not take them lightly. I hope with this realization of offense that you get closure and finally heal. I will see you back here soon. Let's say a month. Thank you, Ophelia. Jokes weren't funny, I took the money. Hello, Malvolio. How are you today?
Not well, but I'm sure you know that. Just like I'm sure you know why I'm here.
Well, I did overhear Festi say that he would ne'er believe a madman till I see his brains. But I really would like for you to tell me why you're here today.
After being locked up in my dark chamber, my lady Olivia thought I needed to speak to someone as she believed I had gone mad.
I see. And why did she believe that you'd gone mad?
Well, because I was dressed in yellow stockings and speaking of a letter I believe she had written to me, but it turned out to be a prank on me.
And because you were wearing these stockings and saying odd things, Olivia believed you to be mad?
Yes.
Would you mind telling me why you wore those stockings for her, which led to her believing you were mad?
Simply because in the letter she was confessing her love to me and telling me that she preferred me in those stockings.
Do you believe that if you wouldn't have worn those stockings, she wouldn't think you to be mad?
I think I never should have read that letter. I truly thought she had taken to me and I was going to do whatever my lady asked of me.
I see. So what you're really saying is that you should have said no to the letter.
Yes, precisely.
Well, thank you for sharing with me today. I will say that love influences us to do peculiar things, if I can say so myself. But I promise you that this pain wouldn't be for evermore. Hi, Macbeth. Thanks for coming in. I know you're extremely busy with your newly appointed reign as King of Scotland. You must have so much anxiety as a leader.
Yes, of course, Dr. Swift. I have so much pressure put upon me lately.
I'm sorry to hear that. Now, I'd like to start by saying that everything that is discussed in this room will remain confidential, and you do not have to hold back on any information you may have. I'm here to help you in any way I can.
That's a relief. I have some quite incriminating things that stain my conscience.
Could you go into a little more detail about that?
Well, I just want to say it all started with those damn witches. I let them get into my head and believe that their prophecies were true.
Witches and prophecies. I may need to see about prescribing you some antipsychotic meds. What kind of prophecy did these witches have?
You know, the kind that predicted that I'm going to be Thane of Gladys and King.
That sounds more like a coincidence. Did you tell anyone about these prophecies?
I told my wife, of course.
Why did you feel the need to tell her?
For once, I wanted her to be proud of me and for her to see me as her partner.
I see. And how did she react to this news?
She pushed me to do things I did not want to do at all.
Like what?
Like killing the king.
Oh, Macbeth. How did she push you to do these things?
She continuously insulted my manhood until I felt like I had no other choice.
Do you feel like you also did this because you loved her?
Yes, I do feel that way.
If Lady Macbeth had not insulted you and influenced you, do you think you would have killed King Duncan?
No, it is not in my character to do things like that.
I would imagine that you're having trouble sleeping at night.
I do not sleep. My mind is stained with my crimes. I feel like I constantly need to look over my back because someone is going to catch me in my sins. And even more so, I feel like I need to watch out for my competition who could take me off the throne.
So, you're telling me that this murder has not only made you apprehensive, but also overly ambitious?
Yes. After the first kill, I have realized that I will do anything to keep my throne.
This is definitely perplexing and disturbing, Macbeth. I will need to meet with you again next week. Until then, I'm very concerned about your mental state. Be safe, Macbeth. Diagnosis of Malvolio. After meeting Malvolio, it is my belief that he was once a comic figure and became a tragic one. A moral lesson, for there is something of Malvolio's conceit in most of us. I have to say that I don't believe he is truly mad. Madness is a heavily disputed topic in the realm of psychology, and by definition, he does not meet the criteria. I would also like to add that I've spent many years in the music industry, and many people have claimed similar things about me. They have called me crazy, obsessive ex, and whiny. But I would argue differently. People say that she's a naive romantic who turns into a stabby man-eater when the relationship doesn't go her way. Personal experience of having a love gone wrong, then having the name crazy pinned on me, I would argue on the defense that Malvolio is a victim of bullying and paid the consequence of that. He was made out to be something that he wasn't, and I pity him for that. Diagnosis of Ophelia. I believe it can be shown that the overriding cause of Ophelia's madness is clearly spelled out in the play and in her words to me. It is more the pangs of despised love which cause her tragic fate than the death of Polonius. With Ophelia's feelings of despair and overall depression and anxiety, I am going to have to go with the diagnosis of true madness. I believe that love did drive her to this point. The loss that she has endured in her life and hurt led to this. I sympathize with her, and I understand all too well how losing the love of your life can affect you. Diagnosis of Macbeth. I believe mortal thoughts haunt Macbeth. Evil spirits tend them. Lady Macbeth inspires them. The hero embraces them. Through Macbeth's interview, I began to realize that greed and ambition have led him to true madness. His horrible deeds may have stemmed from his feelings to conform to what Lady Macbeth wanted him to be. But in the end, she wasn't his driving force in the actions. He alone is responsible for his actions. Summary of therapy sessions. From these 3 sessions, I received much information and I left with many ideas. For Malvolio, I'm going to write a song about his time spent in isolation and how he overcame that time in his life. The title will be You're on Your Own, Kid. I drew from his session the ideas of dwelling of love to create the first verse. There's just one who could make me stay all these days. This is a representation of how Malvolio would do anything, even if it included embarrassing himself for Countess Olivia. For Ophelia's song, I've decided to pick a tragic love and loss. The title will be You're Losing Me. The bridge of the song is a parallel of Ophelia and Hamlet's romance, and my relationship with Joe Alwyn. I gave you all my best me's, my endless empathy, and all I did was bleed as I tried to be the bravest soldier. This line specifically relates to how Ophelia listened to Hamlet through his hard times and gave him everything. Lastly, I've decided to write Macbeth's song based upon his ambition, greed, and the influence of Lady Macbeth that led him to madness. It will be called Out of the Woods. The meaning behind this song is just waiting for the other shoe to drop in relationships. I incorporated lines about his apparitions, such as the monster turned out to be just trees. Although Lady Macbeth pushed him to commit the crimes, once he got a taste of power, he was unable to stop.